This is video number 86 for violin and viola players, and in this video we're going to learn to play number 141 in your Essential Elements Book 1. So be open to page 35. And this whole page, remember some of the last video, this whole page is going to be doing G major stuff where you're playing on the D string and the A string. So you have to do the high 2, low 2 thing, okay? High 2 on the D, low 2 on the A. You're going to run into that here. This whole page, the book, puts arrows up and down. The arrow up means to do a high 2, the arrow down means to do a low 2. It's just a reminder. Don't rely on that. Rely on your knowledge of key signature. Rely on your knowledge of G major means high 2 on the D, it means F sharp, but no C sharps, which means high 2 on the D, low 2 on the A, okay? We'll talk about G and E string as we play more on those. Okay, 141. Notice this one is a round, and unfortunately, if you're learning by yourself, you're not going to be able to do a round. Once you're actually playing with other people, rounds are a really fun thing to do because everyone gets. It's kind of like we've seen them before in the book, and again, you can't do them until you have a friend to play with. But one person starts, and then another person starts, and everyone plays the whole song beginning to end. But you play at a different time. Only certain songs will work as a round. As we've already learned, only certain notes sound good together. A song has to be written in the way that if someone starts from a different point, it'll sound good. Okay, you can't just take a song and make it into a round. But that's what those little circles, the little 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4. So we're not going to really be able to deal with that in this video. I just wanted to mention that because it does say it's a round, and it does those circles where it says circle 1, 2, 3, and 4. That might confuse some of you. You can ignore it. If you were actually sitting in a class with other people, you'd be able to actually play the round. Okay, so we are going to focus on low 2 on the A, high 2 on the D. The mistake people make with this song is they're like, oh, it's just chord notes. This one's easy. It's not, because a lot of people get lost in it. It's not that you can't play it, but if your eyeball's straight from that music, you're going to be lost. So repeat and a pickup note, okay? We're in 4/4 time. The pickup note takes up 1 beat, so I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, and you're going to play up bow the first note on beat 4. Now look at the end. There's a repeat sign. How many quarter notes, how many beats? In the last measure, there's 3 beats. 1, 2, 3. Where's beat 4? It's at the beginning. So you go right back to the beginning, okay? Remember, sometimes you repeat this pickup note, sometimes you don't. It depends on if there's a second repeat sign. In this case, there's not. If you want to compare it to something, look at 138 in your book. Okay, shadow bow from the beginning, and 1, 2, 3. F sharp. Now low 2, C natural. C natural. Now F sharp. 2, 3, beginning. Measure 1. Now, a couple of things. The book does not tell you to use independent fingers. It does sometimes. In this case, it does not. Look, what I want you to do, look at the second measure of the first line. Remember, the first note doesn't count. It's a pickup note. So you're looking at the measure that has A, B, G. Here's what I want you to do for that measure. I want you to go A, B. This is the violin. Viola's you'd be over here. B, G. Now, why? And I want you to keep the B down. Why? Because look at your next note. I'm putting my finger back here so you can see what I'm doing. That's not what I don't want you to do that with your second finger. Just seeing so you can see what I'm doing. Okay? My B and my G are down. Okay? So A, B, G. Because look at your next note. C natural. You're going to keep that 1 down so your 2 has a place to go. Okay? If you try to, first of all, you're crossing strings, you're going to get extra sounds if you don't keep those fingers down. But normally I would say pick it up when you're finished with it. After you get the next note, I'd say pick that B up. Not in this case. Why? Because we want to use that B to help our 2 find its way. Okay? B, G, C natural. One other thing, look at the end of the first line, the beginning of the second line. I'm sorry, at the end of the first line, the last 2 notes of the first line. You go from G to high D. Again, roll it just like you did in a song earlier. 1, 3 to 3. It's a little hard to do, okay? You did that when you went 3 to 3 in number 139. That was a couple songs ago. But 3 to 3. Okay, if you pick it up, you're probably going to get extra sounds. Okay, so try to put it close, put it on the D string, but close to the A string, and then just roll it over. All right, now I want you to play the last measure of the first line plus one note. Okay, last measure of the first line plus one note. Echo me. Roll the 3 and go. A, G, roll the 3, low 2. That part's kind of one of the tricky parts. Do it again. And go. A, G, roll the 3, low 2. Okay. Now, I want you to play the whole last measure of the first line, the first measure of the second line. Both measures. That come in. 1, 2, let's go. A, G, high D, C, A, B, B. Now, for this song, there aren't any other real tricks to this song other than watch your music. You know, I wish there was a more simple trick, but there's not. So you might want to pause the video. We're going to try to hear it together in a second, but I would suggest you pause the video, try it on your own first, and see where you mess up. My experience is that kids mess up in all different places in this one. All different places. Some people get lost in the very first note. A lot of people mess up on the repeat because they don't realize how many G's there are. Look at the last note right before you repeat. It's a G. Then you go back to the beginning. The pickup note's a G. And then the first note, the first measure is a G. So there's 3 G's there, okay? So you might want to see, make sure you practice it with repeat, okay? If you're ready, play with me. Remember, I'm going to count to 3, up to 1, 4. And 1, 2, 3. F sharp. Independent fingers, C natural. Roll the 3 and low 2. And beginning, measure 1, F sharp. Independent fingers, low 2. Sharp, high 2, 3, take off. Okay? All right, so another one that's kind of tricky to play for no apparent reason, other than if you don't watch your notes, you're going to get lost. It doesn't repeat the notes you expect it to repeat, so really follow your music. Practice till you can't get it wrong.